first episode of The Budgeted Collector. You may be asking yourself, what is The Budgeted Collector? Well, it's reviews of toys and collectibles that fall in the price range of $10 to $80. We'll be looking at collectibles that you can display and that aren't too expensive and you don't feel bad about purchasing. So, strap on your rocket packs as we do our first review on Funko Legacy's The Rocketeer. In 1982, Dave Stevens came up with the idea of The Rocketeer. It was based heavily on the 1930s and 1940s radio serial dramas. You'd have weekly adventures to where he would fight Nazis, solve mysteries, and do other things of the sort like that. It was all about a character named Cliff Secord, who one day just stumbled across a rocket pack and decided that he should become a hero. 1991, Disney released a live-action movie. Cliff Secord, the young stunt pilot, finds a rocket and starts fighting Nazis, literally. That's what happens in the movie, and it's fantastic. But the problem was, it cost about $35 million to make and only totally grossed about $46 million. And there was very little to no merchandising. There were no action figures to speak of outside of a Bindum. I don't know if you remember Bindums, but they were those weird plastic toys that had the wire framing that went throughout them, and you could bend them in different shapes. Unfortunately, more often than not, the wire would break and end up poking out of different parts of the figure itself. In terms of screen accuracy, this figure is fantastic. The coloring of the coat is perfectly brown, the helmet has got this great dingy copperish gold feeling to it, and the pants, which are basic khaki, the boots a dark brown, it looks great. The costume in the movie was so simple that it was easy for them to recreate it on this toy. There are some things that I like with my figures, and unfortunately, the Rocketeer is missing one big thing for me: more accessories. This is a $20 to $22 toy, depending upon where you get it, and all it comes with is literally the gun that's in his hand and an additional head sculpt of Cliff Secord. That's it. But, with that being said, there's not much reason really to change the head. You've got the hero figure right here, the Rocketeer, with the very much so iconic helmet. The figure itself stands at 6 inches tall, so it's a decent sized display piece. Also, the articulation is pretty good, but unfortunately, some of the joints are a bit stiff, and some of them are a bit loose. Which kind of happens with a lot of figures these days, but still, it would be nice to have a good, smooth feeling amongst all the joints when trying to pose the figure. The original promotional material of this toy showed with the front flap being able to be removed, as well as the rocket. The finished product, not so much. Everything is one piece. This figure is an excellent addition to your collection. From the helmet to the boots, it is unbelievably detailed for a budgeted collectible. Well, that's all we have for this week. Join me next week when I take a look at the Marvel Select Hawkeye action figure based on the Marvel Now comic line. So, I'm the Budgeted Collector, and please follow me on Instagram at The Budgeted Collector and on Twitter at The Budget Collector. Thank you for joining me. Support your local comic book stores and be passionate about the things you love.